Yo, Counter Attack podcast with myself, Daps. Guys, keep liking, subscribing, sharing, all of that good stuff. It's been a while since I've done one by myself. Obviously, I've had a couple with Scorcher. Then I did the ones where I was away with Nigeria. But I'm going to get back to giving you like a couple of these a week. So, yeah, guys, apologies for the last one. Someone messed with the settings on the camera, but we're back now. Oh yeah, for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, on the last one I did, when the camera angle was on me, there was like a little tint on the colour, but it's fine. So yeah, guys, keep liking, subscribing, sharing. Where do we start, man? What am I gonna be talking about today? Obviously, we've had so just checking. I thought I heard something drop. Obviously, we've had a weekend of football, the last set of games before the international break, and we're just gonna quickly fly through some things. And yeah, I think, were there any surprises this week? Obviously, I've just finished watching Tottenham and Brighton. Tottenham 2-0 up, losing 3-2. Typical Tottenham, I will say. I will say though that Tottenham, they started well. Brighton in that first half were just not at it at all, and I felt like Tottenham they didn't deserve to be 2-0 up, but I think that second goal as well, where the keeper should have done better with it. I think going into at 2-0, you would have thought that they were just going to close the game out, especially with the fact that they have been in good form. You know, Brennan Johnson, he's a man on fire right now. Since, people were getting onto him and he had to come off Instagram, I saw that he's got 6 and 6. 6 and 6 goals for Brennan Johnson, man. And, he's shutting people up the correct way. He's doing it the correct way, just letting his performances speak and just ignoring all of the noise outside. So fair play to him, man. But that second half, listen, Brighton, as soon as they got that first goal, I was watching and I was thinking, yeah, Tottenham got that thing where they do let you back in. And the fact that Brighton got that goal so early, I just knew that if Brighton play anything like they can, and even just raise it by 30% on what they did in the first half, Tottenham could have problems. Obviously, the defending was just atrocious throughout. I think Ruter, was it the third goal? I think it was the third goal where he's done the little skill and crossed it, and the guys headed it in. I think that goal there, Postecoglou is going to be looking at that thinking, what the heck? But yeah, Tottenham just looked spineless and toothless once they really had to, dig in. And Tottenham are a team where I feel like when I watch Tottenham play, when confidence is up, and some might say this is the case for all the teams, but when confidence is up, when things are going their way, they're great, easy on the eye, excellent to watch. But once they have to really dig deep and go in like the trenches, and they don't have that thing about them, and you could easily get the better of them in those moments, in those exchanges. Like they start losing 50-50s. The desire doesn't look like it's there. The belief doesn't really look like it's there. And right back to it, Tottenham will always have, a run of 3, 4, 5 games where they look good and look great. But then when it really comes time to really push on and continue that run against that difficult opposition, they're unable to do that. So good result for Brighton. Their manager doing really well, man. Brighton have started the season well. Mitoma, listen, I like Mitoma a lot, I think he had a dip. He had a dip last season, but he's looking like he's getting back to the earlier form that we saw from him. Checking if it's recording. Yeah, he's looking like he's getting back to the earlier form that we saw from when he first joined 2 seasons ago. So, yeah, big him up, man. Manchester United, Ten Hag survives again. And you know what? With Ten Hag, yeah, what I will say about him, or what I'll say about Man United, yeah, is that if you look at, obviously, they lost to Tottenham last week. That's fine, cool, in the past. Knowing that you're going away to Porto and away to Villa, and the way Manchester United were playing, if they were to get anything from those games, you would have been like, those are good results. So I don't think the problem are the results. I think the problem is the manner in which these results come. So against Porto earlier on in the week, you look at United come away with a draw 3-3. If you haven't watched the game, you'd be like, that's a good result. It's a good result regardless. But when you look at how they played, giving away a 2-goal lead and then, being behind 3-2, and then you look at them today again, to be honest, I think sometimes with United we can be a bit harsh because, like I said, against Porto, they say what you like. The performance wasn't great, but they got the draw. Today, Aston Villa is a tough game to go to. A load of teams will go to Aston Villa and be okay with a draw, and they stopped Aston Villa really playing how we know Villa can play. They stopped that today, and they weren't great themselves, but on paper, they've got the draws. And going into the international break, that might have just saved his career, and he lives to fight another day. Because if he had got battered against Porto, lost that game, and then battered against Aston Villa, I think he would have had big problems. But there are some questionable things going on there, man. The centre back pairing, it says a lot about your recruitment when you've bought new defenders, but the defenders you go with against Aston Villa, 35-year-old Johnny Evans, might even be 36, and Harry Maguire. You leave De Ligt and Martinez, your first choice centre backs, and you leave them on the bench. So it says a lot about your recruitment and how much faith you actually have in your recruitment when that's happening. Obviously, it could just be a one-off game, but you would think that they're both fit, they're both on the bench, and Maguire and Johnny Evans plays. And Johnny Evans is a man in the match. Listen, you see Johnny Evans, yeah? I'm going to go and find a tweet. Was it a tweet or was it on a podcast? I'm going to find a tweet or a podcast, whichever one it was, where I was saying that Johnny Evans is a top defender. This is back when, I was saying instead of Mustafi, I'd much rather have Johnny Evans, and people were like laughing at me, and people still laugh at me when I say Johnny Evans is probably still the best defender there. But obviously, age isn't on his side because, obviously you can say if and whatnot and shoulda, woulda, coulda, but if he was a couple years younger, 5 years younger, Johnny Evans will be miles ahead of Martinez and De Ligt in terms of the pecking order and in terms of people's pecking order, how they look at these things, because we're forgetting the cloth that he's from. He's from that cloth of Sir Alex Ferguson, that era of player. So that's where he got his training. That's where he got his education. So it's no surprise that he's back there and he's standing out because he's the only one there. And to be fair, Maguire as well, man. I say this a lot about Maguire. That I'm not his biggest fan, but he stands up and he makes sure that he doesn't hide away from anything. So fair play to them, man. And Evans, good defender, man of the match today, putting a man of the match performance. And Aston Villa were a bit disappointing. I felt like maybe there was a hangover from their Bayern Munich match, but they were just a bit disappointing. They didn't really look like they got going. The quality in the match overall was really poor, from both teams. So I was just a bit disappointed with them, man. But what else? What else is there? Arsenal. Listen, Arsenal need to stop with this whole giving goals away to. Arsenal need to stop giving goals away against lesser opposition and falling behind against them teams, because we're getting away with it because we've got the quality and because when it's happened at home, we've been at home, but we won't always be able to do it. So I know we can be nitpicking and whatnot, but hopefully some of those mistakes can be just eradicated and given away the sloppy goals, and we can just get back to keeping clean sheets. But these things happen. They come away with a victory. I think I'm going to have to talk about Kai Havertz. I think Kai Havertz, for me, when he first joined Arsenal, I was indifferent about the signing because I just didn't know what to expect. I knew there was a player in there, but I'd also known what I'd seen from him at Chelsea for the last 2 years. So I was like, do you know what? I don't know. I don't know what we're going to get. And when he first joined, I was like, he's looking a bit lost. But you look at what he does when he's, and I'm talking about when he plays at striker. I'm going to ignore when they try to put him in centre midfield. I don't know what all that is about. I'm not having him there. But when he plays as a centre forward, he's got to the point where he's playing like a real centre forward. He holds the ball up. He's getting goals. He puts in a shift. He makes it really, really difficult for defenders. And he's so integral to the way Arsenal play. And that's testament to him, considering where he was 12 months ago, where he's getting pity penalties, where they're giving him penalties just so he can get off the mark. And he's grown to be a real, real good player. And I look at Arsenal and, you know, even Saka, man. Like, I'm going to talk about Saka now because for whatever reason, people like to downplay Saka. And I don't know what it is. And to be honest, I don't really care about what it is. But we have to actually just be real now. I'm talking about non-Arsenal fans who actually have a brain. Not that fan culture, not that bias culture. If we actually look at football and be real, we have to talk about Saka and his output right now because, you know, you get people downplaying his numbers right now saying, oh, set pieces, but he's only set up only two of his assists have actually come from set pieces. So we need to cut that out now. You know what I mean? Like at a time when Arsenal are missing Odegaard, and they are missing Odegaard, he's stood up, he's been counted, and he's led by example, and he's taken on the role of creating. I saw that he created 8 Premier League chances in one game, and that's the most that's happened in a decade. Do you get what I'm saying? And he's first in terms of big chances created in the top five leagues. He's first in terms of assists in the Premier League. It might even be the top 5 leagues as well, but I don't know. That one might need to be fact checked. So for me, Saka is just playing at a very, very high level right now, and I don't understand why people will look at what he's doing and have anything bad to say about it. I don't know, because anytime a question is asked of him, he delivers. You will struggle to find a more effective player than him right now in world football. Do you get what I'm saying? So, you know, big him up. I saw Saeed. Listen, last week I mentioned that Saeed was like, I saw a clip and he made me laugh. Saeed is on a roll right now. And again, YouTubers, that whole fan YouTube thing ain't really my thing. But you see Saeed, I've got a lot of time. I've got a lot of time for him because, and if you haven't seen it, go and look at the clip of Saeed and is it Abdi? Is it Abdi? If it's not Abdi, then forgive me. But where they're on the stream and they're talking about food, and he's like, "Why are you eating? Why are you eating? You can't eat." This is when they conceded. Why, you, like, mate? You have to go and look at it because it's too funny. And yeah, I think he's up for content of the month so far because he's on a roll. He's on a roll. So, but anyway, I saw a video from Saeed of him talking about Saliba and Gabriel, and he was talking about how, yeah, they are literally just like the best partnership and some of the top defenders in world football. And it led me to think about how when he said how he didn't rate Gabriel at first. And it's only now recently, I think it's the last 12 months that people have actually started rating Gabriel. Maybe not even the last 12 months. Maybe the way he started this season. Maybe like the last 6 months. But it led me to think about how in this day and age, we don't allow for players to actually settle in. You know, a load of people would have looked at Gabriel when he first came to the country. Young, new culture, new football. And they would have just written him off, which they did. And how he was when he first came to England is obviously miles behind where he actually is now. And it just goes to show that if you actually develop players and give them time to actually develop, and give them time to actually find their feet and learn their trade, learn their position, learn the country, whatever it is, learn whatever, it goes to show just how much of a better player, they can become. And, that's always been the case. But for whatever reason in football now, if you're not able to deliver when you're first seeing your first game, people just write you off. The development side of things has actually gone out the door. And I would just like for there to be some grace and allow players to actually develop. If you're not having them, cool, that's fine. But we can't just write off players when they first come to a new club and we're not seeing what we want from them in the first 5 games or so, because it just doesn't work like that. Like every now and then you get a player who, once they're there, they will just settle in and they just, get off the mark straight away. But, we have to allow for people to actually develop and grow. And it's funny because I also saw a clip on social media of people saying that Saliba isn't that good. And I was just like, why do people, you've got Anthony Rudiger, you've got him saying on a podcast saying that the defenders he really likes, this is Rudiger, who is maybe top 5 in the world. I can't bother to rank it, but top 5 in the world, top 5 defender, playing at a highest level for Real Madrid, Champions League winner. You've got him on a podcast saying that Saliba and Gabriel are his favourite defenders right now. And they're proper good, top quality defenders. But this YouTube content creator, who's probably never kicked a ball in his life, is sat there saying that Saliba and Gabriel ain't that good. Like, these are the sort of people that tweet football, and if I say something, my opinion, which I feel like might be balanced, they will come with just garbage. Do you get what I'm saying? And that's not even me saying that my opinion is right and I don't go mad sometimes. There might be times where I go mad. But yeah, when you come out with stuff like that, it's hard to even have those conversations. But anyway, Arsenal looking good, Liverpool looking good. I thought Liverpool were just going to kind of go away, but they're not going away and they're just being efficient. I do feel like as the season goes on, we might see them slip into the 3rd position. And the only reason why I say that is because they give away a lot of chances, Liverpool, and they're not clinical. A bit like last season when it comes to Liverpool, where they play well, they get chances, but they're not putting chances away, and they always give teams a way in. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's why I feel like, as much as they're first now, it'll be very hard for Liverpool to continue with that, just because of, those things, giving away the chances and whatnot. But you never know. But they're quietly going under the radar. Started well, top of the table, so you can't say anything to them. But yeah. And I think, obviously, a couple of other games. Chelsea drew 1-1. City won. Docker's goal was crazy, by the way. Crazy goal. I do want to know what's going to happen with their 115 charges. Like, when do we find out anything about that? Because, I just feel like when Everton were getting docked points or were in a position where they're going to have to deal with it or whatever, a lot of noise was made. Man City have a whole 115 charges. And the date got set, but they're trying to just brush it under the carpet and just do everything, under the radar. So hopefully a lot more noise gets made about it. I think that's it from me. I just thought I'd just give you a quick video. Let me know what you think. I'll be back tomorrow doing another one. And follow me on TikTok. I'm going to start going live on TikTok. And we can have some football conversation over there, man. So yeah, that's it from me. I'm out.